Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream Q&A. Give a minute for people to get in here. If you are new to the streams or you're just kind of new to the channel, this is our weekly Q&A. So all you have to do is put your questions in the comment section. It does take a little bit for them to come up on the screen on my end, and sometimes I get 10, 15, 20 minutes behind schedule, but I try to move through the questions as quickly as possible. So when we get to our hour mark, when I tend to end the stream, we will hopefully be caught up. So I know last week we ended up getting out. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit. End up leaving with a lot of questions in queue. So I feel bad for that. So if you did not get your question answered last week, feel free to put that in first. And we're going to get started. So yeah. Again, for those of you who are wondering, I used to do intro music for about 3 to 5 minutes, letting kind of notifications go out so you guys can get in here. But I keep getting flagged, and then I did a live stream the other day when I was cutting coral, and then I got booted from YouTube. So whatever. I don't really care. It's not a big deal. I just got to avoid using any kind of copyrighted stuff, as you guys probably imagine. So yeah, so what's up, everyone? We are doing the drawing for the $300 coral giveaway pack. We're going to do that during this live stream, probably in the next, 10 minutes or so. Depends. And yeah, so we're going to be giving away the $300. And then we have this month's giveaway, which is an apex. You guys can see that at the upper right-hand corner here on your screen. You can see that what type of apex it is. It's got the probes, all that good shit. Again, last month was the $300 in coral. Again, we'll do the random number picker. To enter to win, all you have to do is purchase something from the website. It could be a keychain, it could be anything, and you'll automatically be entered to win. You can order you can have more than one order. It's not going to go against you. I had a couple people last month put in like 3 or 4 orders, which was kind of funny, but hey, they're playing their odds, right? So yes, we'll get to that here in a second. And I think that's it for announcements. Andrea, I don't think I'm missing anything. I think that's it. Audio is good. Finally got some stuff coming up through. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, YouTube is a little weird when it comes to the music stuff. At least on my end. This I don't know if the swearing has anything to do with anything, but I mean I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, when it comes to the music, they definitely don't like that. And what sucks is when I usually don't monetize my live streams right away. So for those of you who are coming in, I don't want you getting hit with ads. But if I do put music on, they tend to get monetized a lot. And some people are like, "Hey, you got like 20 ads on your live streams." I'm like, yeah, but I'm not making any damn money because I played that song in the beginning. So enough of that shit. Anyway, let's go ahead and see if we have any questions in so far. If not, I can ramble for a couple more minutes. But yeah, let's see what we got here. Hi from the UK. What's up, Alex? First hi from the UK. Yeah, what's up, man? What's up, guys? Let's see what we got here. 1 a.m. here. Glad I'm off work tomorrow. Yeah, UK. Yeah, 1 a.m. Well, I appreciate you being here with a time difference. Woke up to a bigger Clarky clown beating the shit out of his partner, going to try to catch him and throw him in macrofuge. Yeah, Clarky clowns. I love how easy they are to get to host, or not to host, to go into the anemones, but because they're not the host. There's someone's going to come in here and be like, "Oh, you got it backwards. It's the clownfish is going in the anemone. It's not the anemone going in the clownfish." So one of you fucking jokers are going to start bitching about it. But anyway, back on topic here. The Clarkies are very aggressive clownfish, very aggressive, and they're kind of they're kind of cool looking, but in general, they're ugly as shit too. You know. They're kind of like that girl at the bar. You're like just starting out, like new to everything. You're like, oh man, that chick's hot, and then you find out she's not really that hot. So yeah, Clarkies are cool. They're cheap and they do well with the anemones pretty quickly, but they are jerks. Good luck catching them. Good luck with all that. Moving down. Oh, one quick note. When I caught my Clarkies in my old tank, I actually kind of baited them with food at the surface. I mean, if they're dumb, they'll come up, and then you just kind of come through with a big net and catch them underneath while they're trying to eat. That's the best I've been able to do with catching them in a larger tank. So just a heads up on that. Marcus is here. Audio's good. 5:01 p.m. in Seattle. What's up? Watching from Louisiana. Damn. YouTube sucks. Yep, we already talked about that. Hey, Travis, how is your 3D printing queue? Will recent orders be done quickly? Well, my 3D printing queue, I never get underneath 40 orders, ever. I can't. My big printer is down, but don't worry, I am I am actually going on and I'm going to rebuild the firmware. So I'm actually going to go into TH3D and actually rebuild the firmware, and hopefully we'll fix the BL Touch, because the problem is on the big printer, it's not doing automatic bed leveling anymore. I did update the firmware from Creality, but it didn't work. So I disabled the BL Touch, but because it's not auto bed leveling anymore, I can't do larger prints without them peeling off the surface. So I got some big frag racks that are not being printed right now, and I feel awful for that. So I'm working on it. I'm actually going to fix that tonight. I already went ahead and changed out the stepper motor on one of my other printers today, and it's working good. So I'm back up to 11 or 10 and a half. We'll say 10 and a half. So yeah, but my queue is, I don't get under 40. And I mean, I guess I can buy 10 more printers whenever I feel like dropping another, $10,000. Whenever I just feel like doing that. But yeah, I'm working on it, guys. So apologize. I'm excited to get some of your 3D printed hand organizers. Luckily, I purchased on the first. Yeah. Now you're also in the drawing to win the Apex too. Yeah. So if you guys order stuff like on the 31st or the 30th, unfortunately, you're gonna only entered in to win for the $300 Coral Pack. You're not going to be in for the Apex, so you have to purchase something this month. So I apologize for that. They were great. They turned savage overnight. Yep, that's pretty common for Clarkies. You can attempt to feed a little bit more if you want, or change up the rockscape. But I don't know what your situation is for your tank. Can I enter the competition? I'm in the UK. Sorry, it's US only because it is an Apex, and I'm drop shipping. I'll probably drop ship through BRS. I don't know, or Marine Depot. I don't know, whoever has a better price for me. I will, well, it's map pricing, so it's probably going to be the same. But yeah, I'm just going to drop ship and do the same thing. So we're actually going to do that drawing here in a couple minutes. Let's see here. Hey, Travis, got a green Monty from you, and it's slightly browning at the tips. Any advice that caused that solution? Well, Rob, I would check your nutrient levels. Browning usually is an indication that high nitrates and phosphates, so consider checking that out first. If you see algae in the tank anymore, consider your nutrients already being a little bit elevated. So you might want to just double check that and see. Other than that, lighting, I don't know. I mean, haven't you bought coral for me before? I'm pretty sure you've bought SPS for me before. I mean, I know Snyder, that definitely rings a bell. Let me look real quick. Let me see if I can pull you up. Yeah, I mean, you've purchased. Let's see here. Let me see what your most recent order was. Yeah, the green digi. Yeah, you got 14 orders from me. Yeah, yeah, you definitely purchased from me before. Yeah, I was gonna say, man. Yeah, you're pretty close. Yeah, I would double check your nutrients on that and your lighting. But again, you've ordered before. There's really no other reason why it would be darker. But yeah, 14. Yeah, you're one of my. I was just say, man, I don't recognize that name. You're like one of. There's like 3 you guys that just hammer the website, which I do appreciate. Definitely do, man. But if you have any issues with that in your next order, just let me know. Just put in the note section. I'll throw another green slimer or green digi out if you have any issues. If if say it dies on you or whatever, I'll hit you up with a free one. Just put it in the notes so I remember, please. I ship out to boot camp for the Marine Corps in August. Hey, congratulations, man. Have fun. Have fun with all that stuff. I mean, I wish I was still. Okay, part of me, I still wish part of me was still in everything, but kind of moved on. Moving on and moving up around here, man. Best way to get rid of cyano in a sump. Manual removal. Since it's in the sump, it's going to be relatively easy to clean. So just manual removal with double check your phosphates, because cyano is based off of excess phosphates. So manual removal, a little bit more flow. You can put a power head in the section where it's starting to grow. Excuse me. And then double check your phosphates. Got my bro jug here. 1 gallon. Reef and Chill gets dick joke number 1. Did I miss it? Let me scroll up. I don't see it anywhere. Travis, hey Travis, do you ship to Canada? I do not. I can't ship. I've attempted in the past to ship dry goods outside the country. It didn't work out. It took forever, and and there was an instance where I didn't even make it there. It's just not worth the extra paperwork right now, and I definitely can't ship anything live outside the United States. I need an export license, and the amount of money it would cost to overnight coral outside the United States plus the exporter license, it's just not worth it. I mean, shit, man. you can meet it in Vermont, meet the coral in Vermont, and take its happy ass across the border with you, man. I would not, man. That's just. Poof. So, I mean, even going to Puerto Rico was like $190 overnight, and I usually ship for like 20 or 30 bucks, 40 bucks, maybe not that much. But yeah, if you have to ask, it's too small. Okay, I definitely missed. I missed whatever the hell you guys are talking about. I love how you guys just have random conversations. You know, while we're here, let's go ahead and do this drawing now before I fucking forget. Okay, so let's go here. Pendy, pay attention to the screen. This is Google random number picker. So basically, I'm going to go here and put in a starting order number and then an ending order number, and I'm going to hit the generate button. Okay, so let's see what we got. The starting order number is going to be, well, I'm looking at the small screen, 4,085. And the ending number is going to be 4,265, giving us 180 orders for the month of January. And when I hit the generate button, it's going to pick a number in between those two. And then I'm going to look that number up and figure out who the winner is. I am going to email that person. I can't obviously show you me emailing them because that'll be their personal information. So I'm not dumb enough to do that. So let's go ahead and generate. 4,251. Let me look up here. 4,251. Loading today. All right, let me reload that. Okay, here we go. Christina Gray, congratulations. You ordered the Senai Reef holder with 2 attachments, and I'm going to email you right now. Hey, what's up? You won the $300 coral pack. Email me back so I can send you free shit. And it doesn't, but if you want 300 in 3D printing, since you already did that, printing, you can have that instead. Whatever works. Laters. Okay. And then that email. Congratulations. And yeah. Sweet. That was easy. All right, let me get rid of this shit here and put that video back up. Play. Okay, cool. So that was the winner. Congratulations, and I will keep an eye on that. And I'll give her a week or so to get back to me. And worst case scenario, maybe I'll give it 2 weeks just in case, because some people just don't check their emails. I was gonna say something sexist there. I was gonna be like, well, she's a chick, so she's probably gonna check her email every damn day. But anyway, not going down that rabbit hole. She doesn't get back to me in a couple weeks, we'll do the drawing again, just so it doesn't go to waste. So we'll wait. Okay. So congratulations. And again, this month, the giveaway is an Apex. And if you want to enter to win, just order shit. Order shit. It can be anything. Doesn't matter. All right. So let's get back on track here. I see the dick jokes are going out. I'm gonna burp. 1 second. All right. So been dosing neophosphate and neonitro, but considering switching to your gallon version when I'm out of my 2-liter bottles. It is on an ATO auto doser. I never thought dosing nitrates could get expensive. Yeah, it can be expensive. I don't really know. Do they sell? Does Brightwell sell a gallon version of that? I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, I throw mine on there, a gallon version on there. It's no problem. I don't have any issues with that. So, what is it, like $49 for a gallon, and you get like 11 or 12 of the standard bottles in that 1 gallon. So you're definitely saving a lot of money. I used to sell it for closer to 100, but in this business, I'm looking for a profit margin. I'm not looking to bend people over and steal from them. So if the profit margin is good for me, I can keep the prices low. So I didn't think it, it justified being almost $100. So $50. There you go. Moving down. Ryan, how do you feel about zebra eels? Well, I never had one, but I love eels. Are they cool looking? I'm guessing they look like a zebra. Yeah, I mean, it sounds cool. Let me Google that shit. Watch zebra eel be like a porn site. I mean, I won't be mad. Right here. Oh, they look pretty cool. They look pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'd pet one of those. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, as long as you have a big enough tank, I don't see any reason why you can't have it. Just make sure you got plenty of rock space. I don't think you necessarily need sand because I've had an eel with no sand without any issues. Make sure you don't have any small fish that it can eat. And yeah, cool. I am getting another eel for this tank. I'm definitely doing it. I just got to get out there and buy one. Sure did. I'm having trouble keeping my PO4 up. Okay, so your nutrients are lower then. Robin, maybe you don't have any like cyano anywhere, right? No algae anywhere, nothing. Because, like I said, if you see any algae, then your nutrients are then you're going to get false readings on your test kits. So, yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind, guys. If you're testing for nutrients and you see algae, there's no freaking point of testing with test kits because you're going to get a false positive. You're not going to get an accurate reading because that algae is already feeding off of what's in the water column currently. So you're just not, you're not getting it. If you see algae, you have excess nutrients, period. Let me adjust here. My ass is going numb already. We're only, 15 minutes in. But browning for me has always been excess nutrients. So, but if you have no algae and no issues with, nothing going on for that, then maybe just consider getting your PO4 up and see if that can help you out. So, okay. How many fish tanks have you gotten to review? For the that video series, I got a whole shit ton of them. When they come in, I just send them over to the folder to do the review on them. That's in the works. I'll have one of those videos out for you guys next week. All right, man. Because I know you sent stuff to me too. Let's see what we got here. Any difference between neonitro, neophos in your version for additions on nitrates and phosphates? Well, I know that our concentration is probably most likely different. And I don't know. I remember what theirs is on the back there. I'd have to look. But when it comes to whenever you switch products like nitrates and phosphates, of course you want to. I would say continue your current dosing. So say you're dosing 5 milliliters of neo nitro every single day to keep your nutrients up for nitrates. I would do the same with mine and then see how it fluctuates. If you find that it's going higher than you expected, then of course dial that back down. If you find that it's dropping, that means the concentration is not the same. So increase how much you're dosing with mine. But it's pretty similar. I mean, I put a lot of salt in my nitrates to the point where it actually precipitates out. And people say, hey, there's some chunky stuff floating around in here. And I've already reached out to the manufacturer where I get my salt, and the stuff's all lab grade. So it's not, it's not dirty or anything. I just put a lot in there to make it pretty potent because that's kind of how I like it for my setup. And I mean, there's a lot of salt in there. There sure is. Yeah, so I don't really worry about that stuff. I never had any issues. I've dosed it with the floaties and there was no problems. It never fluctuated anything whatsoever. So you can just shake it up. It should go away. But anyway, yeah, so I would do the same amount that you're dosing and then just make adjustments based on how it fluctuates within the first week or so. I'm on the top 3 list, or do I need to order more stuff? Gabe, you're gonna have to order more stuff. I know you order a lot, but I'm talking. I mean, Rob he's got 14 in. I know that you order quite a bit too, but I mean, there's one guy. I'm not gonna say his name. That dude's got like 30 some on orders, man. He just, and it's all coral. So I'm not mad about it. Definitely a good guy. I always send a bunch of free shit too because I see his name come up, and when your order comes in, I see how many orders you have, and I usually send people free stuff just because. You're spending your hard-earned money for me. I mean, it's just least I can do, right? Let's go and see here. Yo, had a decent size clump of Chaeto in my sump, lit 12 hours on, 12 hours off. One day it just wasted away near nothing. Dosing PO4 and a 3, no major swings in major elements. Any ideas? Well, there's a couple things. Usually when Chaeto dies off, there's two reasons. One, you don't have enough nutrients. I'm assuming you're dosing because they're already low, I guess. Why else would you dose, right? And then the other reason why it would die is that you have too much light on the refugium. And if you have too much light and not enough nutrients, it just kind of melts the Chaeto away. So I don't you didn't say what you had for light or anything. But if usually what I do is if you're putting Chaeto in for the first time, I usually do the lighting a little less, like 6 to 8 hours. If you can adjust the intensity on the light, turn it down a little bit, and then just make sure you're not at zero nitrates and phosphates because that's going to be an issue with macroalgae. I mean, I have the problem here in my own setup. So, yeah, that's my ideas. Hopefully, they help you figure it out, Brian. Whoops, I scrolled all the way down, motherfucker. All right, here we go. Travis, what macroalgae do you have in stock at the moment? I have nothing, man. I mean, I had some Chaeto, but when it comes, this is the issue I have. Chaeto and phytoplankton. I can't keep that in stock to save my life. I just can't do it. I actually took the coralline algae off the website too because I just couldn't keep up with the orders on it. It's not because I don't mind making $10 a pop. I mean, the money's fine, but having to get in that tank every single day, I might consider bringing it back here in a little bit. We'll see. I don't know, but it's the same thing with the phytoplankton. I have to expand my phytoplankton growing station because I just can't make enough. I mean, it's gone. You can sign up for notifications underneath any product on the website and email notifications, and it will go out. Most people say that they do get the notifications, but I did have a few people say that they didn't. I'm hoping that maybe it just went to spam because I pay decent money for that app. So it better be working, right? But anyway, so I usually only have Chaeto and I don't have anything in stock right now. So you're going to have to sign up for notifications. I would anticipate within the next week or so, I'll put a few bags in stock. And then I will just have to work on expanding my phyto grow out. I really got to do that. That's definitely on the list. Any mangroves? No, I don't do mangroves. They're just kind of, I don't know. They're cool, but I don't really mess with anything down here that doesn't turn a profit. Mangroves are expensive to get in, and they don't really do shit for me. So, not really wasting any time with them. They look cool. That's about it. I would love to have a tank with one big one just sticking out of it at some point in the future, but man, not right now. I bought a tank decoy and a keychain 5 minutes ago. Sweet. Did you come in? Let me check. I don't see it, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, it's cool though. Yeah, the decoys. I put up a blue hippo tank. Somebody was asking. I wish I could remember his name, but he was requesting the blue hippo tank decoy. So I made those the same version. So we have the suction cup and the bite on for like bare bottom tanks in the bottom. And you have suction cup for the glass, and then we have a sand foot version. And again, we have the 3-inch and a 5-inch versions of those. They're pretty cool. Seem pretty popular. What's up, guys? How is your 80-watt UV sterilizer? My 80-watt UV sterilizer is rocking. The UV sterilizer I just put in from Aqua UV, or no, I didn't just put in. It was a few months ago. It was a while ago, actually. It's working pretty well. I like it. Zero complaints on that. I can't wait to actually. I'm gonna get a much bigger one for the new setup, and I just have to figure out where the hell I'm gonna put it. Let's see. Can you link multiple XR15s together? Would be easier than updating each one through the Apex. Well, I mean, going through the WXM module for the Apex is actually really easy. Updating them and doing the whole program is extremely easy. I actually went through and took the 8 Radions. Is it 8? 6. Sorry, 6 Radions XR15s over the frag system. I took those off the WXM yesterday and put them on through the whatever Ecotech, whatever their smart app is, whatever. So I went through and connected to each one of them individually down in the fish room. And I just put them on their own programming because I was having an issue that I would turn off one of the frag lights and it would also turn off a light on the 300. And I went ahead and reset the WXM, reset all that shit. And I was like, something, I'm done. I'm done. Not messing with it. So I put them on their own thing and I kind of went to deep blue spectrum. just to see if there's any difference in growth and coloration with that spectrum. Just that spectrum with no reds, no greens, no whites. Just kind of see how everything does for my own personal knowledge. So yeah. But yeah, the WXM, man, that's pretty sweet on the Apex for all that stuff. We are at zero. We're at what, 8:13? What is it right now? 8:26. So I'm a little bit behind. What is the best filter if you don't have a sump pump? So you have a sump without a pump, or do you just not have a sump? I'm gonna assume that you just don't have a sump because if you just have a sump and no pump, then I'd buy a damn pump. But other than that, I'd say if you're not going to use a sump and you don't have a like an all-in-one, there are people that use just canister filters and they fill it up with like rubble rock or biomedia, something like that. I would tend to stay away from the filters, like the mesh filters or the felt filters, the stuff that is usually or traditionally in those canister filters that you'd use for like freshwater. I would stay away from them just because we tend to forget, unless you're religious about keeping track of when you need to clean them and replace them, because they will turn into a literally a nitrate factory if you don't keep them clean regularly. So I'm talking, you go in there and pull the pads out once a week. If you're trying to keep nutrients and checking an SPS tank. Yeah, you can use canister if you want. If not, then I wouldn't really use any filter. You can just put some power heads and make sure you have surface agitation, and then or surface, the water movement, we can call it that. So there's exchange of CO2 at the surface. You can just point some power heads up, and yeah, and do a hang in the back skimmer if you so choose. Make sure you have a drip loop so you don't kill yourself. Normal shit like that. They sell it for 50 for 2 liters. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. If you have to dilute your water for nitrate test on a Hannah, nitrates are too high. Yes. That would mean that your nitrates are too high. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it means. I think that's generally for any nutrient test kit. If you have to dilute the water just to bring it down to a range where you can actually read it, then yeah, it's probably too high. How do you get the best color out of SPS? Just low phosphates? No, it's a mixture of things. I mean, there is. I think we're kind of moving away from the fad of low nutrients. I know that was a thing for a while when Zeovit was out. I even admit it when I started the channel and we started the Zeovit system in the fish closet way back when 2016 maybe, 17, whatever. Everything was about low nutrients. Zeovit, everything was just about getting the nutrients as low as you can. And then we come to find out that that's not good. That's not good at all. The Zeovit systems, even those corals looked like pastel. They looked really cool. They were not happy. Or at least not my experience, but I'm sure somebody out there has been very successful with Zeovit. So kudos to you. But for me, they just were not happy with that type of system. And it was a lot of money and a lot of work for, subpar, no pun intended on that, colors. But yeah, so right now, if you want coloration, you want to keep your nutrients in a specific range. So 3 to 5 ppm of nitrates and 0.07 to 0.15 of phosphates. If you start dipping below 3 ppm of nitrates and under that, I would say 0.03-ish, 4-ish maybe of phosphates, then you're starting to get into the dino territory. So that what that means is when you bottom out your nutrients completely in your reef tank, what happens is because the nutrients are gone, you can't support beneficial bacteria as if you had those proper nutrient levels. And what happens is when that beneficial bacteria starts to die off, another bacteria comes through, a dino. We'll just call it dino. It comes through and takes over the system and thrives in that low nutrient environment. It's photosynthetic. It survives very well in a low nutrient environment. And so that's something that you might experience if you stay at that very low nutrient level. And that's why I get a lot of people buying the dino identification, because people are still stuck on having really low nutrients in their tank when they really shouldn't be. Because there is a fine line between too low and then obviously too high, where you start getting cyano, you start getting green hair algae. I mean, there is actually situations that I see quite often where people have cyano, they have green hair algae, and they have dino in their tank at the same time. It's actually extremely common. I've had green hair algae and dino in my system before, and you might be wondering, like, well, if I have high nutrients, then that's why I have the green hair algae. But wait, I have dino, which grows most of the time. Most species of dino grow in a low nutrient environment. Why is that? Well, it's actually quite simple. The excess nutrients are growing algae. Now, that algae is sucking up all the nutrients in that system to grow, that it actually causes there to be a low nutrient environment, which then allows the dino to grow at the same time. So it's kind of a double whammy. And a quick rundown on how to get rid of that is you manually remove as much of the green hair algae as you can. Get your feeding habits in check. Make sure your RO water is good. All this normal nutrient things that we do, or normal things that we do to keep our nutrients in check, you want to make sure that's good. And then, of course, manual removal with the dino. So that's a quick rundown on that. So yeah, long-winded. Shit, that definitely set me back a while. So anyways, hopefully that answered your question, buddy. Man, I hate going off like that. I sound like a fucking nerd. I do not like that. No, gotta be tough. No. All right, shit. Let's go and scroll up here. All right, James. So I have a 75-gallon corner overflow. How can I keep algae growing from inside it? Not much space to block the light there. Well, James, you can go ahead and you can purchase my custom 3D printed item on my website based on the size of the overflow. Send me pictures of the overflow with the tape measure and all that good stuff, so I get the actual measurements, and I will 3D print your ass a cover for that overflow box. Deal, homie? I'm just saying, James. I mean, if you want to do that, you can. If not, then put something over it to block the light. That's your next option. All right, man. No algae, dosing your PO4, NO3, and keep it up 200 par at the moment. 200 par is a little low, Rob. I would bring that up a little bit. 250 minimum for SPS. That could be it too. Yeah, so 250 par minimum. Those green digis are at 300 in 350-ish, 400-ish right now. I did just drop the lighting, so that's of course going to change. But yeah, your par is a little bit low on that, buddy. That might be it. Ooh, how do you get crystal clear water? Well, I use, and this is just me personally, I use mechanical filtrations in the form of filter socks, which I tend to forget to change out, but ideally you want to change them out before they overflow. To do what I say, not as I do. But and then the next thing I use is carbon. I change it out once per month. I use the BRS 0.808, whatever the hell that shit is, ROX 8, whatever. And then I also use a UV sterilizer. So between those three things, the filter socks get all these small particles out, most of them out of the tank. Have a high flow bare bottom tank, which gets all the particles up in the water column, drop down into the filter socks. The carbon removes any kind of tannins and chemicals and shit and whatever from food or whatever in the tank. And then the UV sterilizer just makes it even cleaner. So, yep, that's what I use. Works out good. Did that with my macro tank. It's next to the display, 50% macro, half tank for Chato, lit 24/7, blacked out with acrylic. Was there a question attached to this? I feel like there was, but I don't remember it. I don't remember Reefer. I will admit to you guys, when I'm up here just answering questions and then the stream is an hour later and I'm like, shit, I'm still talking, I don't even remember what I talked about. And it's just because I guess I'm in a, I don't know, the zone. Who knows? But yeah, let me see who that was. Emails. Advice, please. I've got low NO3 but high PO4. Best approach. I have a refugium. Dose NO3. Or feed foods that are high in nitrates but lower in phosphates, which can be difficult. So if your phosphates are high, then you're going to want to stay away from green things. You're going to want to stay away from nori and bok choy and all sorts of shit that's green. And yeah, or you can just dose NO3. You can find that at FishOfHex.com underneath dry goods, which is kind of odd given that it's not dry, but I didn't have any other section to put it in. So yeah, there you go. What would you recommend more? If room isn't an issue, would you say refugium or Chaeto reactor on the 75-gallon reef? Refugium for sure. It's a lot less maintenance, a lot easier to take care of, and it grows just as well if you have the right lighting. So you'd be good. And it's probably cheaper to have a refugium than buying a whole reactor unless you plan on making your own. Okay. I've been thinking of setting up a small tank and breeding the nudibranchs. What's your thoughts on that? Well, if you can keep up with the food source, Bergia, yeah, if you can keep up with the food source, as in if you can continually keep in Aptasia, that's going to be the biggest problem you have. Unless you got a lot of jack off friends that got a lot of Aptasia in their tank. And that might be pretty cool too if you can advertise, maybe on the forums and shit that you're looking for nudibranchs, or not nudibranchs, but looking for Aptasia. But that's going to be the problem, because if you run out of Aptasia, your nudies are going to die. Okay. They're relatively easy to breed, from what I'm told, and make sure you have a tight fitting lid, because they will crawl out. They will crawl out, at least from what I'm told. I've never tried to grow them, never had really need to grow them. And I don't have the patience to grow something that's the size of Gabe's dick. I was like, who am I gonna say? What name am I gonna say? But I haven't given Gabe any shit yet this stream. So, but yeah. So good luck with that. Just make sure you have enough Aptasia. Oh damn! Just read the chat. Travis put a hat on. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm not. Am I missing? I feel like this is my stream, but I'm not even part of the inside jokes anymore, or what's going on. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. All right, next one. Ryan, looking to upgrade my tank and currently use AI Prime for lighting. Just curious what lights you use. Deciding between a few more prime or single photon V2. Okay, so my lighting situation currently is on the 300-gallon. I have 8 XR15s and 8 T5 bulbs. Mostly, we have 4 Blue Plus and 4 Actinic. So that's the 300. It takes care of that. Over on the 2 low boys to the right-hand side of the 300, I have 6 XR15s, and that's it. I run deep blues on that. What's Gabe saying? Hey, they are much larger than my dick. Joke's on you. Fucking. Oh, Gabe, I don't know what I'm gonna do about you. So yeah, XR15s on that, and then on my low boy to the left of the 300, I have 3 360Xs. Yeah, you have 360Xs on there, Kessels. And actually, speaking of that, we got a new 8-foot tub coming in soon, and we're gonna have some really nice Kessel lighting over that. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. It's gonna be really nice. We're gonna have 8 foot by 3 foot by another foot by a foot high. Sorry, of growth. It's gonna be mostly tubs and frag racks full of just corals growing out or healing up. I'm excited. Definitely excited to get that tank in here. I was waiting on the reviews for that. The 80-watt UV, that is, I saw yours and ordered one for my 240. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it was really easy to install, and I noticed right away the difference in quality. But then again, I was using the Jabo 55-watt, which if you guys don't remember that, it was actually starting to flake away. The inside plastic on that tube was actually starting to flake away, which I don't know if that's bad for the tank, but yeah, I just swapped it out for the Aqua UV, and it's been working great. Gabe told me he was able to fit all those keychains. I'm sure Gabe was able to fit all those. What that was, I think that was 6. There was 6 dick chains. I think that was the key ring from that post I put on Instagram where I said I had 7 dicks and 2 of them were black. That was that keychain that I sent him. How do you compliment someone who performs a? Oh, here we go. Give them a tip. Oh God, Rob. What's up, Darren? Hey, everyone. What's up going on? Hey, what's going on, man? All right, here we go. How long is the wait for cut to order frags, and what day do you usually ship corals? Ship the corals. Trying to time the day off work. Okay, so when it comes to cut to order, I've been kind of back and forth on cut to order. This is the problem that I have. There's so many damn coral orders coming in. When a cut to order frag comes in, I have to pull that order. I have to cut that frag. I have to find a place to heal it. Then I got to put that order somewhere where I remember to ship the damn thing. So it's actually I got a pretty decent system. I'm not complaining. I'm just looking for excuses to complain about shit. Um, so it's pretty simple. So if you order anything from cut to order section, which I'm planning on adding some more to that here soon, I'll cut it within 48 hours of getting the order, usually within 24, to be honest with you. I will email you and say, hey, this is the intended ship date. It usually is 2 weeks after I cut because I like to give them time to heal before obviously giving them, a UPS ride. And if that, I usually end the email saying, if this date doesn't work for you, please let me know what day works. You'll email me. You'll email me back, and I will update your order with the updated shipping date, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Again, I don't really mind doing the cut to order. I kind of wanted to bring it back a little bit before I started growing stuff out on disc again, because that's when my cut to order actually took off. Is when I had colonies on disc and I didn't have to go into 300 all the time. So, yeah, were the black ducks bigger? You mean dicks? Were the black dicks bigger? They were not bigger. Um, I don't discriminate. That sounded super gay. Okay, nope, we're done. Not even going down that fucking rabbit hole. Anyway, but I can't end it on that either. You know something, Andrea? Fix it. That's what I do. When I got problems, I just tell her to fix shit because yeah. Moving on. On SPS color, what is the effect of too low of light versus too high of light? Okay, so when it comes to SPS coloration, um, there's multiple factors that determine the coloration. Obviously, the PAR intensity that you're asking about now, but also your nutrients. So I have found from personal experience, and this is me, just me, okay? If I have proper nitrates and phosphates in the appropriate range, I find that it's going to be coral dependent. I find that stags like higher par. I don't know why. Maybe that's why they grow the way they grow, but stags really like higher par. And the coloration seems to get better the higher par that they have. Millies, not so much. They tend to like that mid 400-ish par range, and they color up really well. I've actually taken millies and put them in different parts of the tank just to kind of see, again, par versus, everything. Because obviously the nutrients are the same in that tank. It's just the lighting intensity is different. Flow is roughly the same as well. And it's really dependent on the coral. So I was going to say, with that said, so back to your question. So on SPS coral, what is the effect of too low of light versus too high light? And just what I said, if it's too high, you're going to get like a palish. It's going to be light in color. You're not going to get the deep colors that you're looking for. And again, you're going to want to put corals that like that higher light in those areas versus the ones that like the lower light par, your millies and stuff like that, your smooth skin torts and shit like that don't really like a lot of light. And those will color up obviously at lower situation. You'll have the better coloration. So yeah, also growth will be better as well. So it's kind of one of those things you really got to know what coral you have or knew where it came from, I guess you want to say, before you kind of determine where you want to put it. But it's always good to throw a coral on a rock structure. Give it some time. Give it at least a few weeks. And if you find that the coloration's good, the polyp extension's good, then leave it the way it is. It will grow. It will continue to grow. But if you put it up there, acclimate it to the light, and it's paling out. Like I put a bird's nest up pretty high in the tank recently, and it's starting to pale out. It just doesn't like the light. So I'm going to go in there. It's been a month. It hasn't changed color. It doesn't like where it's at. I got another piece of it somewhere in the tank lower, about 300 par lower, which has great colorations, doing fine. So I'm going to go in there and remove that coral and put it somewhere else where there's lower light. I'll probably just throw it on a disc to grow. But yeah, so basically just put it in the tank and acclimate it to the current light, the light that you want. Give it some time. If the coloration looks good for you, you're happy with it, then let it grow there. If not, then move it somewhere else. All right. Long-winded. What am I? That's 8:31. Yeah, I'm still 15 minutes behind. And we're 45 minutes in. Okay. Hi. I keep having problems with algae, but my nutrients read to be near zero, which worries me. I don't overfeed. There's no excess light over my tank. What could be the cause of this? Well, like I said earlier, if you see algae in the tank, I mean, you could test if you want to test. I know when I see algae in my tank or in a tank, I know that my nutrients are high, and I've been dealing with that shit recently, anyways, because I've been neglecting the system. Long story, it just I haven't been keeping up on it. So, yeah. So if you see algae in your tank, there's a few things you can do. You can look at your water sources. Again, you've been checking your food sources. If you have algae in your tank and you're feeding flake food of any sort or dry food of any sort, stop feeding that shit because that stuff has a ton of nutrients in it. That's usually one thing I ask people who have. Well, I'm reading one other question just came in. When fuck, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. You guys gotta stop distracting me with the dick jokes, man. Suck. Fuck. I see dick at the corner of my eye and I lose track of what I'm saying. So that's one of the things I tell people who have algae is I ask them, hey, are you feeding any kind of pellets, dry food, or anything like that? And most of the time they're like, yeah, I feed like fucking twice a day. I'm like, well, that's your problem right there, buddy. Yeah, if you're feeding dry food or anything like that, cut that shit out. Just get rid of it. I try to feed only things that are, I guess, frozen or homemade that I know what's in it exactly. That's just personal preference. But yeah, so you're going to check your sources of water, your RO, make sure it's zero TDS, make sure your salt's good, feeding habits. And you do have excess nutrients coming from somewhere. You just got to find that source and fix it. And then your situation will get better. Also, manual removal of the algae is always best as well. You can get in with a toothbrush, you can pull it out with your fingers, whatever works. And don't buy a sea hare. Don't do it because that some bitch will run out of food, you'll die, and you'll have bigger problems. Because right now, actually, one of my giant Mexican turbo snails he went into one of my stag colonies. He got stuck in there. I can't get him out. So he died in there and he's just rotting. I can't even get him out. So I'm just like, oh, this is great. So there's just chunks of this giant, massive, freaking 5-year-old snail just rotting in the middle of my tank, and I can't do anything about it. I don't know how he got in there either. But any good fish or inverts that can clean the glass really well? Fish, no. Inverts, snails. That's it. Glass cleaner at FishOfHex.com. There you go. Don't buy the large one right now because I can't make it. Well, never mind. I can make it after I fix the freaking firmware tonight. I take that back. Buy the large one. Anyways, I have a 150-gallon tank. No corals yet. Have 5 fishies. And having, I guess that's what it is. Having a very hard time keeping Chaeto alive. The tank is 1 year established. I'm using AI Fuge lights. What can I do to help it grow? So no corals yet. You have fishies. Well, what are your nutrients at? I mean, if you have Chaeto in there and it's dying off, your lights, I mean, your AI Fuge light, that seems to be fine. I never used one, so I can't tell you if they're good or not, but I mean AI makes good lights, so I'm assuming it is. And yeah, so check your nutrients. Make sure nitrates and phosphates are up there. Decent range. Again, 3 to 5 ppm of nitrates and 0.07 to 0.15 of phosphates, and see if it grows from there. If you're reading low or 0 on either one of those, there's your problem. All right. Have you noticed that saltwater evaporates faster than freshwater? I have not noticed that. Nope. I haven't noticed that at all. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure there's some kind of genius here on YouTube that will talk about it for 4 fucking hours. Anyways, no, I was rambling off James' question. Okay, cool. Hi, I keep having problems with algae. Even though, didn't I just? Oh fuck, man! Didn't I just read this? Did I? Fuck. I swear. Did I just click on that again? Unless I scrolled all the way down. Okay, I don't know what the hell I'm going on here. I have a 20-gallon high saltwater tank, and it's been up for 3 months. And I was wondering if hammer corals or foxbong are some good beginner corals, and how much par would lights have to be. Okay, so Yeah, I mean, 3 months is fine. I mean, if your nutrient levels are a good check, you can keep your alkalinity stable, fine, cool. You should be good. Yeah, give it a shot. As for par for the frog spawn and the hammer coral, 200 is fine. I mean, shit. I mean, I grow my hammers right now at, it's got less than 100 easily because it's getting shaded out and it seems to be fine. But yeah, 200 is fine, roughly 200. I wouldn't go crazy. You don't need to be doing any like 350, 455 shit or anything like that. They're more of a big on flow. Make sure the flow is good. Don't make sure you're not blasting them, of course. And you'll find if your lights are too high, they will tell you really quick that they don't like that. Best tip to keep hair algae away. I'm running Geo and Carbon, Go and Carbon, and still have issues. I'm guessing. Do you mean Geo? You're talking about motherfucker. The shit for phosphate. I don't remember. GFO? Is that what you meant? You just forgot the F? Okay. So best tip for keeping hair. Yeah, there you go, James. Okay. Best tip for keeping hair algae away. Well, I mean, if you're carbon's not going to do shit for that. Carbon's not going to affect your nutrients in any way. So the GFO is going to remove the phosphates. Okay. But if it's still growing with the GFO in there, then you have excess nutrients coming from somewhere. So kind of got to go back to the drawing board, James. You got to figure out where these excess nutrients are coming from, and I've said it already a few times in the stream. Start with a water source. Make sure it's zero TDS, no exception on that. If you're getting your water from a local fish store, make sure you see zero TDS. Bring your own TDS meter. Okay, don't trust it. If you're buying salt water and not RO water, so say you're just buying RO water and you mix your own salt at home, make sure it's zero TDS. Of course, you can't test salt water that's made at the local fish store for zero TDS because it's not going to be with the salt in there. Now, if you are getting your water from the local fish store, stop doing that. Stop doing that shit. Unless you can go back there and see their system and have them turn it on and see zero TDS, I wouldn't do it. There was a guy in California, I don't remember his name, but that guy, he was buying water from the local fish store for a longest time, man. I mean, he was spending some serious money too, and he was getting some nasty ass water. Then he decided to get the RO from there just to test it, and it wasn't even close to zero. It wasn't even under 100. So yeah, big problems with that. So, but yeah, so you want to back to this. You got to find the source. So either you're overfeeding again. Double check if you're feeding pellets and shit like that, your water change schedule. I mean, there's something causing the excess nutrients, which would cause the hair algae. You just need to find that source. And it's all about process of elimination. And you always want to start from, again, the initial thing going in the tank, and that is going to be the water. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I'm actually backed up pretty far. I'll grab a drink here before my my voice sounds like Gabe's after a long night out in the club. Sucking dick, too. Anyway. Thank you for the advice, sir. I'm going to do more research into it. There's a lot need here in Long Island, and the reefers buy them. Cool. Can you start a reef tank after cycling with a refugium, or should I hold off? Yeah. Okay. Can you start a reef tank after cycling with a refugium, or should I hold off? What do you mean? So you cycled the tank with the refugium attached to it? Is that what you mean? I don't understand the question completely. You can start a reef tank as soon as you have no ammonia in the tank and you have a little bit of nitrates and phosphates, or at least nitrates showing up on your test kit. And you're good to start your reef tank at that point. It just depends on what you're comfortable with growing. My tank, I cycled the rock for 3 months. And then I would say, I'll just be safe. A month after putting the rock in the tank, I went ahead and put my first SPS in there, and I was fine from there. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. But yeah, as long as you're not actively going through the cycling process and you have nutrients in the tank that could, sustain the coral, as long as you're not at zero nutrients, you'll be fine. I missed a dick joke. My bad. I'm going to look for those later. I'm finally getting to Gabe's 8. Damn, son. Okay. What are the deep blue settings on the low boys for the Radion's whites settings? So for the low boys, I have no whites, no reds, and no greens. I just started that yesterday, so we're gonna kind of see how that works out over the next month or so. but it's just straight 100% all blue channels, purple, violet, all that kind of UV stuff. No whites and no greens and no reds. Again, just to see what happens. Did you start your 300 main tank with frags? Also, how old are the colonies? Okay, so you're gonna have to look at the 300-gallon playlist and look at the updates on it. But the tank, I don't know, it's got to be close to 3 years now, 2.5, 3 years. I don't know, something like that. Now this tank, I'm rubbing my eyes here, Jared. This tank, its sole purpose is to supply frags for the business. Now, I did start this tank with frags. I think the largest one was maybe 2 inches. That's what she said. And I let the colonies grow out for a while, of course, and then I went ahead and cut them. But this tank's main job is to get cut every single week. So if it looks like it's not growing, it's because it's getting cut so much. It's not because I'm horrible at growing coral. But I didn't think I had to say that. But anyway, yeah, you have to look at the 300 and see when I did the update videos for it. There's really right now, after I did I think it was the 2-year update on the tank. There really was no point, because I remember in April of 2020, I went ahead and basically took out 20 some on colonies from this tank because they were just too big. They're growing into each other. And I have a giant Flamingi tank that does fragging for me every week too. And I just decided there wasn't really going to be updates on the 300 like that anymore, because it has half the coral in it that it used to have. So it's not really something to brag about, right? But okay, dick jokes. Okay, let's see what we got here. What the fuck? I'm wondering why hot dogs came in a pack of 6 when I can only fit 5 in my ass. Oh God. I don't know what to do with you guys. Oh, you can't force the dick fix on a girl. Okay. You guys are, whew, all right. You guys, this is why YouTube demonetizes me all the time. I'm just kidding. No, I do that shit myself. Let's see what we got here. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Some of my corals are starting to die off. My tank parameters are elk 9.2, calcium 450, mag 1381, PO4 0.02, salinity 34.9. All of my chalices on the bottom tank are receding. Pars around 100. What should I do? Well, your PO4. What is your nitrates at? You didn't put that in there. Your PO4 is low. Period. Your PO4 is low. You're getting close to dino territory, so yeah, your PO4 is low. I imagine if if your PO4 is low like that and you don't have any algae in the tank, then your nitrates are probably low too. So you need to get your nutrients up. And yeah, that's what we do. Par seems to be fine. I mean, 100 is not stupid low. I'd personally be a little bit higher with chalices, but I've been successful with them that low as well. So yeah, nutrients, I would definitely look at that first. Up and running for 5 months now, and I am still getting green and brown algae growth, starting with new dry rock. Now, did you happen to cycle that rock before you put the lights on the tank and started doing a bunch of shit? I'm assuming you just put dry rock in there. I am losing my voice. Holy fuck. 1 second. Shit, man. I have been talking for 58 minutes, so my bad. I'm probably gonna go for a few more minutes. I'm gonna have to cut this shit short. Damn. Am I still? Yeah. So if you started the tank with just dry rock and you threw some damn lights on it and you skip the whole cycling process that I usually recommend people do outside of the tank, then that's your problem. You just shit. I mean, you just essentially, fuck, man. Green and brown algae growth. So are you getting a lot of hair algae, or is this just like a film on the rocks? I mean, I'm gonna assume it's just a film on the rocks. You kind of got to just wait that stuff out. Cut back on your feeding a little bit. Just keep your nutrients in check and just wait out the cycling process, because I mean, I'm assuming you just toss all the rock in there and then went ahead and turned the lights on, which most people do when they're just starting out. I mean, it's pretty common. I did it myself, but then my rocks did turn green. They did have like that brownish color to it. That's something you got to wait out. So consider maybe putting a little bit of a cleanup crew in there if you want, but just be careful on how much you feed. and what your nutrients are. Okay. Answered my question perfectly. Cool. That I can help. Can I bribe you with 10 high-end hookers for an Apex asking for a friend? Bitch, man, I don't need to pay for sex. And I don't need you to pay for my sex either, bro. I got this. I don't know if you realize this, but no. I'm I'm just playing. I was gonna do some egotistic shit, but I'm really not like that. No, I don't need your free hookers. I can go get my own. They wouldn't be hookers either. Hey Chris, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. You always coming in here dropping dollar bills. Appreciate it, buddy. I can't read these comments while you talk about things growing. As long as you guys are having fun, I don't care. But I am gonna have to cut this short, and I'll probably do like 10 more minutes because my voice, man, I feel like I just don't feel good. I was gonna say something inappropriate, but I'll keep my channel monetized today. Have you ever dosed live phytoplankton? And if so, what's your experience? Yes, I dose it and I grow it, buddy. It's good stuff. If you are one thing, just a FYI here, if you are testing for nitrates and phosphates, don't dose that shit anytime near when you plan on testing. I would say dose in the morning and then test in the evening before the lights go off. Yeah, but yeah, dose it. I make it. I grow it. I sell it. I can definitely see random dick could cause a little distraction in his defense. Yeah, it does. It surely does. Yeah. How much rock is too much? I have about 80 pounds of dry rock in a 75 gallon. I mean, when it comes to aquascaping, I pretty much tell people put the amount of rock in there that you want. What aquascape do you like? How do you like your system to look? If you like a minimalistic type of rock structure like I do, and you just want to have a lot of coral in there, then do it because you can make up for the lack of biodiversity in other ways within the sump or in the chamber behind the all-in-one. There's other ways to make up for that surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow. And then one thing that I do tell people, if you plan on having minimalistic and having excess or having more fish, then you got to just be considerate. You got to consider how much you're going to feed. These are all things you got to balance out. But if you like the way 80 pounds of rock looks in a 75-gallon tank, then kudos, keep it that way. If you think you need 40 pounds in there to make it look the way you want, then take out 40 pounds. And then you, of course, if the tank has been up for a while and it's already adjusted to 80 pounds, if you decide to take out 40, then you just need to be mindful that you have half as much of your beneficial bacteria, which will process waste. So you're gonna have to cut your feeding back and keep all that stuff in check, right? Yeah. And if you were taking out, say you want to take out 40 pounds, I wouldn't do it all at one time. I'd probably do it over like a month or two. But yeah, let's go to move down here. I'm gonna try to get through as many as I can in the next 8 minutes. So if I'm talking faster than usual, that's because I gotta get this done before I lose my voice. I can't get my elk staple. I've tried all kinds of things, but has been your best method? What has been your best method? Well, I use a calcium reactor, which doses equal parts of calcium alkalinity consistently by breaking down corals with CO2, and that's how I keep it stable. When I was dosing 2-part on the 125, I dosed equal parts of calcium alkalinity and was very successful with that. I have videos on dosing on the channel. I suggest you check those out. One specifically on dosing 2-part or just dosing in general. It's a pretty popular video too. Yeah. Be consistent and dose equal parts. I know a lot of people say you don't have to dose equal parts, but I look at other methods like calcium reactors and calc washer that has been successful, and they dose and they release equal parts, and I do the same with 2-part. So moving down. Not I mean, I will debate somebody if they want, but no, I won't because I don't really give a shit. You guys notice I don't really debate people or argue with people because I don't care. I know what works for me. You can do whatever you want. That's one of the benefits of having a hobby is you can do whatever you want. How do I get the dino test and all that? FishOfHex.com underneath dry goods. You can go out on the dino. I got a couple in the mail tonight. I gotta do those after the stream. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll send you out an envelope with the vials and everything that you need to the sheet, and you can just put your dino in there. I also send back a prepaid label. and all that stuff, and you just send it back to me. USPS is getting better with shipping. It's been a little bit of a problem with Christmas and everything. They actually are starting to deliver a little bit sooner than average. Then again, I just sent out a dino test, I think, on the 27th, and the tracking still hasn't updated. So I'm probably going to have to send that back out. I just talked to him today. I have to see what he sent for an email again. I think he replied to me. And sometimes that happens too, with everything going on. I mean, I mean, if I could hand deliver everything that I ship out to you guys, I would love to do that. But unfortunately, once it goes out, man, it's in God's hands at that point. Actually, it's in UPSs and USPSs. And unfortunately, a little bit of an issue. I don't know why the hell I went off on that. Moving down, waste fucking 4 minutes talking about that. Are you able to print 3D print a custom 5-gallon auto top off reservoir with your printer? 5 to 10 gallon, probably not. I would not. I mean, okay. Let me rephrase. I could, but you wouldn't want to pay for it. Trust me. If I had to make something that big, you're cheaper to buy something acrylic. I would probably charge you a fucking arm and a leg to build something and print something like that. Because the bigger an item gets, the more risk it has for me. That means that I have items that I print that take days. I'm talking 3 to 4 days to print, and that sumbitch can fail at any time. And usually it fails at day 4, about an hour before it finishes, and kills the whole print, all that filament, all that time, that electricity, and I get super irritated by it. So if I had to print something that big, it would take days, and you would regret having to buy it. So go buy a freaking tank from Petco, $1 per gallon. I'll put some damn water in that. Or buy an acrylic one from Geo. Geo makes some great ATOs, and go buy those. That's probably your best bet. Can you print bigger ones? Bigger what? I can print anything. Anything. I was gonna go off on that. Nope. Can you make a refugium chamber out of a small DIY reactor? You can. Yes, you can make a. I've done it before. If you look on the 30-gallon whatever reef tank, I did a 30-gallon a while ago. I took it down to make some room, and I did a DIY Chaeto reactor. It was very successful. You can check that out. I actually have a video on that somewhere. Let me get through this. Fuck, I'm almost out of time. I have a 20-gallon high saltwater tank, and it's been up for 3 months. I was wondering if did I fucking read this already? Andrea, didn't I read this already? Pretty sure I did. Okay, I'm pretty sure I read that. Yeah. So say I cut back on feeding. What are water changes the only way to get the phosphates down? Well, I mean, if feeding if at the end of the day, James, if feeding is what you determine to be the cause of the excess nutrients, then yeah, water changes would be a great way to get it down. But then you got to be consistent with your new feeding habits, and the temptations of overfeeding can't be there, kind of thing. And then just build better habits from there. But yes, if you determine that if overfeeding is the cause of the excess phosphates, then yeah, water changes would be a great way to do it. Just be careful. Don't do 50% or any freaking crazy number like that. Just be consistent. Do like a 20% every week and bring that stuff down slowly, because you don't want to shock the system, right? So anytime we make a change in our reef tank, we want to do it over time. You can get away with doing it quicker. You can get away with that kind of stuff, but do you want to take a risk? All right. Best way to lower nitrate and not lower phosphate. Well, figure out. Refugium pulls out more nitrates and phosphates, higher percentage wise. If you really have high nitrates and just and your phosphates are fine. First of all, figure out why your phosphates are high. Why your phosphates are high. You want to figure that out first. Even a biopellet reactor would be a good idea for people who generally have high nitrates. A biopellet reactor can be good. Just go slow. Of course, I have a couple videos on biopellet reactors. I've been very successful with them in the past. Just be careful and have a power outage backup plan, because you don't want your biopellet reactor not getting flow for an extended period of time, because you will kill the bacteria and then start that shit all over. So, but yeah, biopellets specifically target nitrate bacteria, the nitrifying bacteria. So, yeah. I think I said that right. I probably said that wrong, but the biopellets would be good, or water changes. Okay. What keeps elk stable? Mine was 9. Then doing my weekly change with Tropic Marine salt is now at 8. is that time? Is it time to dose on top? Okay, so um, I tend to keep my alg closer to what my salt is at. If your salt is at 8 and it's consistently at 8, then consider keeping your alg at 8. It'll make it easier when you do water changes for that reason. But if between water changes, if your alkalinity is slowly going down, uh, and you got coral growth and all sorts of stuff like that, algae, coralline algae growth in your tank, then you can consider dosing 2-part or kalkwasser or even or a calcium reactor at that point to keep your levels at 8. So say you're at 8 and then you find that over that 2-week period you're dropping down to 7, then yeah, you might want to consider dosing. But if you're at 9 and then it drops down to 8, then how's it at 9? What are you doing to get it at 9, kind of thing? So what's the cost of one of the printers you run? One of the printers I run are $1,000 a piece. They have an Ender 3 Pro frame. Everything else is custom built by me. Everything's replaced. Everything is built by me. And no, I'm not sharing that information. They are fully automated. They have their own computers. They do everything themselves. I just change out the filament and run the program for them. Again, they are $1,000 a piece. That's for the Ender 3s. That's not for the big one. But yeah, I have plans of getting 10 to 20 more of them within the next year because this 3D printing shit is for real, at least for me anyways. And then I just expanded my 3D printing. I took a whole bunch of classes in Fusion 360, and I've got some good stuff coming. So all right, let's go ahead and move down here. Man, I'm already out of time. Shit. All right, we're good. We're getting good. I went down the bottom. Yeah, okay. That's some random ass question. But anyways, that's about it, guys. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We did an hour and 10 minutes, 11 minutes. I think that's good enough for today. My voice sucks. Again, if you want to support the channel, head over to FishOfHex.com, order anything this month, and you'll be automatically entered to win the Apex, which we will do again this time next month. We'll do the giveaway just like we did today for the Coral Pack. Christina, I think it was, who won. Hopefully you email me soon so I can send you some free shit. All right. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you have a good week/weekend, and I will see you next week with hopefully another video. If not, I'll see you at the live stream. All right, guys. That's it. Peace.